Let's try this again. Change of location. Good morning and welcome to the Teacher's Wake Up Call. I tried filming a video in my staff room, but my colleagues arrived. So I kind of put the kibosh on any content to create at my desk in my office. Our office, it's a department office. It's not my own personal office. It's not like I've got a personal assistant and a secretary waiting for me, doing my paperwork. I wish. In one of those fantasy worlds, that would be entertaining. No, I wanted to talk to you about la persévérance scolaire, perseverance in schools. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because, like yesterday on my way home, I hear this commercial about school perseverance. I'm just going to face the window. I think I'm going to get better light like that. Yeah, there we go. I get to see the snowflakes outside because it's snowing again. Yeah. So there's this ad. It's in French. It's about school perseverance, and it made me think. There's nothing inherently wrong. You hear this weird grating sound. It's the lights. When there's vibrations in the school, there's that sound. Anywho, so it made me think, the ad, there's nothing wrong with the ad. The ad is fantastic. The ad talks about the fact that, it presents the fact that success can take time. And people who are persevering, they're persevering over a length of time. And that's amazing. And for once, we're talking about success at your own pace. Success is a long-term process, and that's amazing. But it made me think about a couple of things. First of all, perseverance cannot work if there's no understanding or patience, right? And let me explain. In a classroom setting, when you have a student who is struggling, they might want to persevere, but when a teacher is faced with a very demanding program, a course program that requires to complete X before the end of the year because you've got an exam, patience is not necessarily there, because you might tell the kid, hey, it's okay. The teacher could be patient and just say, take the time that you need, I'll be there for you, but I have to go on with the rest of the class. And that is a problem, because maybe a person like myself will say, that's fine, and I will just trudge along because I've developed the mindset where I don't need to be at the same level as everybody else. But for a teenager, mentally, that's difficult. Mentally, your self-esteem gets a hit when you see everybody else progressing and you are still in the back, even though you're sitting in the front. So it creates a very interesting situation where we want students to persevere, but we forget about those elements. It's fine and dandy when you're an adult and you decide to go back to school and you're behind, but you've accepted it, and that's the mindset you need to have. But in high school, they haven't developed that way of thinking yet, and they just see everybody else. So there's a bit of a lack of understanding. I'm not saying that all teachers are like that. I'm saying you have to be prepared to be understanding and to be patient, and sometimes you might have to look at your content and say, okay, if I want everybody to persevere, if I want everybody to feel like they're part of the class, maybe I have to adjust my content. But what do I know? I only teach French. And I say that not sarcastically, okay? I say that genuinely, knowing that there are programs out there, there are classes, there are subjects out there that have a very dense course content, and there's an exam at the end of the year by the ministry, and if you don't go over that content, the students are going to be stuck in a very awful predicament. And I get it, and the teachers are bound by that content, and there's no flexibility. I have that flexibility, so I can say, okay, well, wait, okay, let's go over this vocabulary, which is not part of what we need to do this week, but let's do it anyway. So I have that flexibility. Other subjects don't. The other issue that I have with such an ad, okay, is they want people to be successful, and that's fine and dandy. It's like, you know, you don't want to aim for mediocrity. I get it. You know, there used to be an ad back in the 80s or 90s. There's these kids talking about, you know, finding jobs and what, you know, it was, I think it was an ad for a job search tool or site, or I don't know. And the kid was saying, I want to aim for middle management. But what if you are happy with middle management? What if you're happy with that? What if you don't want the stress of, like, you know, so what if that kid or that person or that adult who is striving to understand math, get their high school leaving diploma or whatnot, and ultimately they still can't get it? Are we basing their success on our criteria, or are they successful because of their own criteria? And there are people out there who are very happy with either their high school leaving diploma or just a college level diploma, and some people without it, and they're very happy and very successful and very content. So how do we define success? And I often tell students who are in a situation like that, and I see that they're struggling, and not just in French, but everywhere, and they're overwhelmed. Choices have to be made, and they have to have those hard conversations that maybe parents and teachers are not ready to listen to hear. Like, I need to focus just on math, or I need to focus just on English, or I can't focus on this, I have to focus on this. And we try to empower our youth to be vocal and to share their concerns and their worries, but I don't think all adults are ready to hear that, because we have our own definitions of what is successful. And if it doesn't fit in that definition, in our own definition, we won't accept it. And that's hard. And that's, especially when they are your children or your own students. Like, I would like to have students who get 90s, but I know for a fact that there are some students who will not be able to get 90s. And success for them is a 65. And I have to tell myself, I am happy with that. Could it be better? Sure. But if they are coming from a place where they used to get 45% and now they're getting 65, that's a success to me. I will use an example as I'm ending this video. A girl in my French class, first day of school with me, she arrived a bit later, like I think a week later, and she said, I am very dyslexic, miss. I can't speak French. I'm even struggling in English. I'm like, whoa, okay, you're speaking English to me right now. But she made it very clear she has struggles. So it's like, okay, there's an open line of communication here. So I gave her space. I said, you need to let me know what works, what doesn't work with you, because, you know, I don't read minds. And she struggled. Oh, she struggled. But before Christmas, she did a writing assignment. It was like create 10 sentences. And she wrote those 10 sentences on her own. She got a failing mark. But I know for a fact that she did it on her own. She got something like 50%. But I was so proud because it was her own 50%. It wasn't 50% that was done assisted by computer. It wasn't a 50% done with like the assistance of a parent or a resource teacher. She did it on her own. And I gave her the paper and I started crying, and she said, Miss, stop, you're gonna make me cry too. And like, I know, I'm sorry. I was so proud of her because that was perseverance and success on her own terms. To me, that is better than a kid getting 100% across the board. On that awesome note, folks, have yourselves a lovely day.